Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay cast. Today it's a 1v1 on Paddy Field between our blue player, Graf von Stauffenberg, and on the right side we have our red player, Legaytus, and supposedly, according to the replay as it is so named, it is Graf von Stauffenberg versus Faust, who is usually the #1 on the leaderboard. He hasn't been for a while. Actually, I haven't looked at it in a few days, but I'm assuming he is still #1. We're going to go with that for now. And so if anybody can confirm that this is actually Faust, that would be pretty nice in the comments. But probably just a Smurf account of his, but that's okay. And so it is a major versus a general either way. So even if it's not him, it should be a pretty good match regardless. But I will so name the replay Graf von Stauffenberg versus Faust, or in the other order. Either way is fine. And all the units are out and about. Most of the force is actually going to the left side, not sending too many to Bravo. Usually the game ends up focusing around Bravo a little bit, and somewhat Gulf as well. So we have an Abrams, a couple K1s here, some Bradleys moving over to the left side there, some Hanshi Nanashikis, the Shiki and the Gazelle. Moving on up to 20mm, and looks like additional Hachi Nanashikis coming as well, because everybody gets Hachi Nanashikis, because they're easily one of the best recon vehicles. I think the only problem with them is that they run out of ammunition very, very quickly. It looks like they have a lot, 390, but they just eat through their ammunition very, very fast. You can see this one is about to fire, and look how fast it goes down. You barely even see it get to fire, and it's already it launched twice. And it does 15 shot volleys for the most part. And runs out very, very quickly. But a small price to pay. And then we have two Bradley IFVs here. Looks like probably riflemen inside of those. Not really sure what he's got packing in there. Have to see when he unloads. And a very decent map. I do enjoy the map. I actually don't like this side so much. I really enjoy this side. However, it's usually a bombing fest, and you get bombed out a lot. But some good AA in the woodlines are pretty good for that. And if you're good old Merca, you can put a couple Patriots in the back and really regulate the air situation. Indeed, they are riflemen. And moving on out now. And the Bradley IFVs that hold the riflemen only have 4 missiles apiece, whereas the actual recon Bradley, which I much prefer, holds 12 each. And the reason why I prefer that Bradley is the fact that riflemen really aren't that great, and you kind of want to spam them. If you're going to use them, you might as well spam them a little bit, just because they're not that great of fighters, especially the non-90 versions with the M72 Law. The M72 Law is pretty bad. It always misses, and they don't have many missiles. And since the Bradley recon vehicle has more missiles, it is a little bit better in that regard. And it's also a recon, so it can see troops, or rather vehicles, and troops, I suppose, very far away. And that is a bonus you really can't pass up. But they certainly cost a lot more. And they also don't include riflemen, but I really don't think it's worth it half the time. Riflemen, meh. If you're going to use riflemen, you gotta really kind of spam them pretty hard to make them somewhat effective. I'm going to engage the Eric's team here. And they get shot in the face there with one of the Erics. Loses 2 men. It doesn't look like the Erics are going to last very long. Stuns the Gewehrmen there for a moment. And here comes the Harrier GR7 landing all over these Gewehrmen. And they're going to take a big shot there. So the Gewehrmen didn't last long, but either did the Erics didn't last long, but really either the Gewehrmen due to that GR7 K1 up here. And the TGB is going to scout that with its face. And loses that. But just a troop carrier, not too big of a deal. Now he knows that there's a K1 there. And a CS now moving up. One of my favorite vehicles in the game. Just so, so good. And it just fires at anything. It's willing to fire at literally anything. There is no inefficient with the CS. It will just fire regardless. It'll fire at super heavies, anything, and even stun them. It doesn't do particularly much damage to armor, but it certainly stuns it. Prevents it from attacking, then something else can kill it. But I have killed armor, maybe not super heavies with the CS, but I've certainly killed some decent armor with CS before. You get about 4 or 5 of them all going on one piece of armor. It's very interesting to watch, and You just watch all the criticals fly. Very good time. We have a CV now moving in here for Faust. Looks like he's going to be putting that in alpha. Probably going to park it in the back there. And we'll have a +1 advantage over his opponent. I don't see another CV. No, there is a CV on the way here for Graf. And he's going to put that in the back of Hotel. So that's just going to even it out. Then it's going to be all about Golf and Bravo, both of which Graf has control over at this very moment. A couple Jaegers now moving in. And there isn't too much to really defend against these Jaegers here. So the Jaegers probably can do a little bit of damage, but not going to be too hard to respond to that. And supply vehicle has been brought in for these K1s. Both of them a little bit jacked up. And Riflemen trying to make it into the wood line here, but the Erics are just going to end up bombing them out. And there you go, one man left and running for life. One poor soul running on the ground. Very unfortunate. Jaeger split up a little bit there. Picks out the few Gewehrmen that were left. Harrier GR7 in the air looking for some trouble. And the Bell helicopter here is going to get all peppered up by the Jaegers. And that did not last long at all. FSK are coming in to engage. We have some just 3 lonely troops here as well. And NM-135's coming in. And we'll definitely eat up these particular Jaegers here. These ones are safe for now. 2 Harrier GR7s now in the skies. Roland takes out that chopper there. The FSKs and the Jaegers going strong here. But still has a good stranglehold on Bravo here. And at least has the initial part of Bravo. And some CS on that side there. And a few troops over here. Here comes the Harrier GR7. Chucking 4 Paveway 2 missiles. Bye-bye, FSK. No more of that noise. But the Chaparral, no, it doesn't take it out. I thought that took it out for a moment there. The ECM confused me a little bit. And it looks like it got out just in time. So Chong's going to finish up the last of these Jaegers here. KFV will finish off that A1. And here comes another Harrier GR7 and pummels that KFV into the ground. Not that it has too much armor to begin with, just 2 frontal armor. Not too much top armor either. So both sides doing fine just yet. It looks like Graf has a whole 1-point advantage over his opponent. And either side taking Bravo or Golf just yet, but it looks like Graf could easily take Bravo where he stands now, although he does risk getting hit by one of those Harrier GR7s as he's pulling it in. Also take Golf fairly easily as well. Has a few options to put that in the various hedgerows, which aren't too good of an option, but the back of the woods is somewhat obvious usually. And now a whole mess of troops. Jaegers, by the look of it, going to be moving into Bravo here. They're trying to push him out. There isn't too much in Bravo at any one time, but you just can't seem to push him out of here. We have 20 more Jaegers here moving on in, and 40 Jaegers in this group. And Puff going to fly overhead, but there's no radar that I see. We have a Roland back here, but that radar is off. The Puff not going to really be able to do too much. And here comes a Jupiter with a CV squad inside of it. And I'm going to try and place that in the back of Bravo, as Golf right now really isn't an option, as he really has nowhere to put that, as it's totally covered at the moment. So really, Bravo is the natural choice. It's going to release it all the way back here and possibly just run them in, put them in the back of the woods there. Here, your GR7 moving in. And what is going to die today? And now lobbing here. And is it going to hit that Chaparral or just the... Looks like it hit some of it. Hit the M1, and I don't remember what that was. Was that a Chaparral? What is the corpse? Looks like a chaparral. Or a Roland. Indeed, is a Roland. And did good damage to that M1A1 as well. Here comes the CV for Golf. And the GR7 flying way too deep into enemy territory here and loses it because of that. And now the action in Bravo here continues, raging on. The Jupiter still not released, not walking it into Bravo just yet. These Jaegers trying to push in. And DK1 and the K1 moving up. We'll take out all those CS, no problem. But the CS ain't afraid of no ghost. They'll fire back either way. Good old CS. I think I have CS in basically like every one of my NATO decks that I possibly can have it in. Just such a good time. I know for that it's at least in both of my US decks. I have a US tank deck, US regular deck, and I have a multinational deck that I use. And definitely CS in all of those. And I believe I have a NORAD deck with it in there as well. Who knows? The CS is just so fun. I highly approve. Now the Furong's group has taken Bravo though, barely hiding in there. But still 0-0 Graf with a +6 advantage, or rather just 6-point advantage over his opponent at the moment. Both sides with a 0-0. Either side gaining any points at all. Somebody's got to take something out here. Falcon flies in, drops on the Erics. And they're about to feel the wrath here. Going to lose that squad. And neither side doing anything tricky just yet. All the sides covered for now. And both sides just pondering how they're going to get each other's CVs out. As now Legaytus, Faust, / the General moving forward. And now has taken control to some degree of Bravo here. There's just one soldier there, so I suppose that could be considered control. And Roland here going to be firing at the Falcon. Does hit it, but will not finish it off. Now the Puff flying in. But he turned off the radar already, so not going to happen. And tried to bait that Roland on to turn its radar on with that Falcon. But the Puff was a little bit too late. Too late to the party. Day late and $1 short. Now Jaeger's now moving in here. But the M41 and the Erics holding out for now. But nope, not the Erics. They are totally toast. K1 here has to be a little bit careful. Could get side shot. Oh, and it does. Looks like that one hit the front, and the DK1 there hit the side. It only has 10 AP power, so it definitely hit the side there to penetrate through that thinner armor. The K1, the side armor, just 7, and it does 10 AP power, so it must have did about 3 damage or so to that side armor. And after the K1 hit it, Cobra in the air. And not too much left on that. Just has the minigun left. No more cluster rockets there. And it gets taken out by the Roland. DK1 spotting everything on the side here. The Erics do look like they are still stealthed, hidden. But not for long. They fire. That gives them away momentarily. And now going to suffer the consequences of that. Now the H1J is here as well, firing on those Erics. Eric's takes out one of those DK1s. The rest of them all perish shortly thereafter. Roland has one rocket left. Looks like it's moving over to the right side here to chuck it at that AH-1J, but not sure if it's going to be enough to take it down. K1's moving up here for Stauffenberg. And both sides shoot each other there. And the blue K1 there misses and takes a very wicked shot and then loses it to the DK1. And now Faust trying to get into the wood line down here to hold that and stop anything from moving up. So now it's not looking all that good here for Stauffenberg as he's moving down the line here. And the KM-163 firing away on the AH-1J, not going to make it. But that DK1 in this forest line here is going to prove to be troublesome. Jaeger is now moving into the wood line here, but the K1s should be able to stop them before they get the chance to make it in this line here. And we'll have to see if they do or not. No, the AMX here, CV takes a shot, survives it, but now has to back out. Was going to try and move that into Bravo by the looks of it, but can't really quite do that. Multiple fighting Falcons flying overhead. And what are they going to bomb, or are they just trying to lure out some AA? No, it looks like they are bombing and dropping it all over the town here. And I think only one of them dropped. And they missed the CV entirely. He didn't quite know where that CV was, so he attempted on the woods there, but nothing there. Jaegers are in hot pursuit of this M1A1, and it's definitely trying to get away. And he is backing up, facing that frontal armor at those Jaegers to not risk death, that is. With only 4 bars left. It's not going to survive too much either way. K1 gets side-shotted by the other K1, another K1 in the wood lines now. Couple panicked Jaegers here, not going to perform very well against the K1s there. Gets finished off immediately. The FSK does take out one of them. Looks like it was a rear or side shot. No, it may have actually been a frontal shot there. But that Eric's, of course, does do 25 AP power, which is more than enough to one-shot a K1, I do believe. Maybe. If it wasn't, maybe if it was full health, it might survive that. And looks like Stauffenberg is trying to make another push here. Jaegers and the Eric's coming up. An M1A1 on the right with a Gazelle 20 mil. There are 3 DK1s moving up, but not going to be enough to penetrate this A1. They're just going to take shots over and over from that A1. As long as he doesn't let them in close enough that 10 AP power actually does something to it. But they'd have to be pretty close to penetrate the M1, as it has 17 frontal armor. However, if it turns its side, it will get peppered up by those DK1s. I find another fighting Falcon is out and about. And looks like he may be trying to bomb the wood line. No, he's going to be bombing the town line here. And finishes off that frag squad. And now FSK, a couple Jaegers remaining for our red player here. Pushing in, going after the Erics now. But the Erics are going to put up a fairly decent fight here. But they are panicked, so not firing very quickly at all. And also very, very inaccurate, so they may not last very long. And with the DK1s firing on them, not going to last long for sure. Bradley's firing away on the Erics. They're trying to push forward, and we have a bunch of M36s moving up. This is another unit that I have in my decks. Very much recommend the M36. The big issue with the M36 is that it runs out of fuel immediately. It's terrible on fuel. Pretty much runs out of fuel halfway across the map. As you can see, they started off with 700. By the time they made it here, they have 350, so they are already halfway out of fuel, and they basically made it from here down the road to here. So that is outright garbage in terms of fuel. However, they are so fun. You get 14 of them in a card if you are a multinational deck. And they only cost 10. They do 8 AP power. So what I usually like to do, it's very, very hilarious, is that you just basically make 14 of them at once. You just gather up 140 if you have the opportunity to do so. And then I just sort of drive them through the woods with a Hemet to fuel them up every so often. And then you have some troops with them as well, and just sort of mix up the troops and split them up into individual 10 groups. And push with the K1s. And it's such a delightful... effective push through a wood line if there's a CV in the back of a wood line. It is quite amazing, because losing the K1, you just kind of go, eh. And if you get their CV, you go, yay, and you celebrate. So really, not much to lose, to be totally honest, when you're using M36s. Gazelle cannon here, with the 20 mil firing away on the FSK. Firing 15 rounds at a time, nearly out. One more volley here. It is out of ammunition. And you can see the M36 nearly out of fuel already. That's why you basically have to babysit them with a Hemet. Otherwise, you run out of fuel, plain and simple. No, they're going to get to this Stabsdeling. And looks like the K1 will get there first. But the M36 is spotted. And now fire away on them. AMX now backing out. And now a +1 advantage for our red player. Two Fighting Falcons here, both dropping on the town line. One hitting here, one hitting there, both of them missing the CV. Now the M36 is completely and utterly out of fuel, which is very, very, very typical of the M36. Again, you sort of have to babysit it with a Hemet. And Legaytus is our winner, a Lieutenant General. And let me just check out his profile real quick. 2,548 multiplayer games, and I will actually try to confirm, if possible, that that is Faust. Not really sure. I do believe it is one of his alts, though. That is the way the replay was named on the replay website. So I suppose I'm going to go with that. I may just name the replay Graf von Stauffenberg versus Legaytus. Just in case it's not him, you know, you never know. Who knows? People like to put just whatever. But it was a good game either way. A Lieutenant General versus the Major. And worked out pretty good. Looks like Graf von Stauffenberg was winning for a little while. He had the control of the map, but then Legaytus just pushed back and took control. Won the game. But I hope you guys enjoyed the replay, and I will see you guys next time.